Next to Fuji.
Yo, what's up guys, it's BeaztyBoy.
Yo, what's going on guys? My name is BeaztyBoy.
Yo, what's going on guys, my name is BeaztyBoy.
Yo! What is up? It's BeaztyBoy.
Yo, what is up? It's a boy, BeaztyBoy. Actually, no, it ain't boy no more. It's Beasty now. Cause I ain't no little boy no more. I'm a man now. 22 years old. 22. That's crazy, man. The last video I made, I was 18 years old. 18. Ain't that something, man? 18 years old. And that's just crazy to me. But anyway, though, glad to be back on this channel, low key. And low key though, this might be the last video on this channel, but the last video gotta be the best one, low key. So I know I told y'all like a couple years ago, like 5 years ago, I was gonna do this whole Beasty documentary thing, and I'm gonna do it right now. I know it's been, you know, now it's what, 5 years later after that, so I guess it's a 10-year anniversary, which is even better. So I can do more with it, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a fun little video. So I know I made a part 3 back in 2020 or back in 2021, but I did not upload it though. So in this video, or after this little, you know, introduction and stuff, I'm gonna play that video, and then I'll get back to, you know, parts 4 and 5, and I'll even talk about part 6, where, you know, I have a brand new channel now, which is called Beasty, not BeaztyBoy, Beasty. It's about pretty much just topics and talks about, you know, anime, manga, gaming, hip hop, or even life, anything, superheroes, movies, whatever. So literally the whole talk, or the whole concept of BeaztyBoy Talks, is actually into this channel now. Like literally, there's a whole channel there. And honestly, that channel has been doing good, you know what I'm saying? I've been a little more consistent, so, you know, I'm able just to talk, you know, not too much editing, because I know this channel I've done a lot of editing, but still though, effort matters. And every time I look back at it, you know, like these old videos, it feels pretty good, it feels pretty amazing. So yeah, it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Come back to this channel, you know what I'm saying? Like now I have a beard, you know what I'm saying? Well, kind of low key, you know what I'm saying? I haven't, like I said, I haven't shaved in 2 days, so this grew right fast, but yeah, and I'm finally wearing something different, not the red hoodie. I'm wearing a black hoodie now, you know, because if you don't match with nothing, just wear black. Easy. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna just get started ahead with this old video first, and then I'm gonna talk in my true talk style with these other videos, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna do that in a second, and hope y'all enjoy. Like I said, it's been a while, so here you go. Let's do it.
Next to Fuji.
Yo, what's up guys, it's BeaztyBoy.
Yo, what's going on guys? My name is BeaztyBoy.
Yo, what's going on guys, my name is BeaztyBoy.
Yo! What is up? It's BeaztyBoy. What's up, y'all? It's your boy BeaztyBoy. Today it's another Beasty documentary, episode 3. Why did I create BeaztyBoy? So I'm gonna get straight to the facts, straight to the cut. The reason why I created BeaztyBoy, because BeaztyBoy Swagger didn't work, man. I got made fun of, roasted. It was bad. D4 outfit, all that stuff. It was bad. I wanted a new start. Simple as that. I wanted a new start. So that's the reason why I made a new channel. Actually, there's 2 more reasons to it. So first reason was I wanted to make like a whole new channel that didn't have, because I remember that the BeaztyBoy Swagger 101 account was connected to my school account. So I wanted to have my own account without the school account being in it. So I made for the first time, once I got my phone, 2015 was the first time I had my first phone. So I decided, why not make my first email? So I made an email, my personal email, and guess what? I made a channel out of it. So that's why I also made that too. But also, why did I make up the name BeaztyBoy? Well, like I said, for BeaztyBoy sounds like a cool name, you know, especially for a superhero. Probably the most coolest name for a superhero. But I think so. The reason why there's a Z in Beasty is not like BEASTY, it's BEAZTY, is because back in March I was a huge Dragon Ball fanatic. We talk Dragon Ball Z. No, we talking the whole entire thing. But it all started because as a kid, I was like 8 years old. I was a fan of Dragon Ball, my favorite anime, all that stuff. At that time, I didn't even know it was. I mean, actually, that's the lie. I didn't know it was anime. But the thing is though is that Z was like the Saiyan Saga and for Dragon Ball Z Kai, I was a huge fan as a kid. But the thing is though, I never found out what happened before Z. So literally one day I found out that there was something before Z. I never even knew that there was something before Z. I thought there was just one show called Dragon Ball Z, right? So pretty much what I do is I'm like, yo, I'm super intrigued, so let me go check it out. So legit, what I do is go on YouTube. I search up Dragon Ball Episode 1. I kid you not, they had the entire show on YouTube, man. One video had episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had like 6 videos in one video. They had the entire show on YouTube. I mean, that was 5 years ago. Nowadays, you do that, man. You getting striked and cops coming to your house probably. But the thing is though, so I watched the entire show, all like 108 or like all that stuff, all that in 1 month. Now I thought that was pretty impressive, which is impressive. Watch 108 episodes in 1 month. That is impressive, especially on your school iPad. Impressive, especially on YouTube. Even more impressive. The thing is though, because I was a huge Dragon Ball fan, the Z part, comes from Dragon Ball Z. So, also Z and S kind of sound, slightly similar. So I kind of did that as well. And so Beasty, it's Beasty to me. To y'all, be Beasty. I don't really care, but I just the thing is though, the Swagger 101 part didn't work. I got roasted. Everybody on the bus, everybody from Indies on the bus, dumb people, heard that from them every single day. Swagger 101, default outfit, all that's junk. So I said Swagger 101 ain't working. I just make it simple, BeaztyBoy. Boom, bam. And the reason, okay, also the Beasty came from Dashi. So Dashi, it's not just Dash, it's Dashi. So that's I had to do it, I did the Beasty. So yeah, that's the reason why the channel came, and it's kind of simple. It's kind of plain down simple. But also, the second reason is that at the time, I remember on the bus, NWO leader Reto Fosca at the time, and Epic Dorkboy at the time. I don't know, you still call the same thing? Probably not, man. I mean, come on. I mean, like we was up in middle school making up names. So the thing is, though, is that we was all competing for like who has the most subscribers at the time. I remember, I think Manny had the most subscribers. No, for Michael had the most views. Manny had the most subscribers. I was just starting out. While Manny and Michael started out like 2 years before me. I don't remember, but and Jeremy was also like, I think he was the only one who actually I think made like vlogs and that stuff. So like that's where I got the idea with like the vlogs and all that stuff like now. So yeah, I'll say that for sure. So pretty much all of us was competing for the most subs. Who got a better channel? So now I got BeaztyBoy do whatever I want on my channel. That's why I said, I'm gonna not make these default outfits, all these videos. I'm gonna like now just make videos, gameplays, reactions, all that stuff. So yeah, at the time it was a huge competition. That was it, and yeah, I was having fun with it. So that's the reason behind the channel BeaztyBoy. It's simple, all that stuff. I just wanted a channel of my own, and look at where it came. 5 years later, still doing strong. I didn't post my content, but it is what it is, I'm a busy nigga, but yeah, at the same time, it is what it is, yo. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's as simple as cake. That's all I gotta say. But all right, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Probably the 4th one will be coming out soon, since that's a more complex story. Tell y'all a bunch of stuff, funny stuff. But the 5th one, that's simple too. So yeah, I'll see you later. That's Kitty Queen, whatever, about and all that stuff. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Whatever y'all niggas. Stay BeaztyBoy. Oh yeah, also there's one more thing I forgot to leave out. So why did I create the gameplays? The Beasty talks and the Beasty montages. So the Beasty montages, literally, bro, I'm gonna straight real with you. The Beasty montages, the first 4 was fun. It was just funny to me. I had an edgy, sense of humor back then. I think all of us had. She about to have it too. She about to be in middle school, so that's me back. But the thing is though, I'll be real with y'all. Most of the clips are from Instagram. I ain't gonna lie with you. Montage clips. Some of them are my own, but some of them were just funny to me. So I put them in a montage. Like, yo, this is funny. It's funny. Some of them that I did create my own, like dang this 75%. But most of them, like the little ones, like Robin, like with the hot nigga one. That one is ripped straight off from Instagram. But there's one like with the Etika one with the like the Mambo combo. that was like compilation of some other YouTube video, then for my own little thing, Mom comment with them like, yo, these kind of match together. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I do with that one. The gameplays though, that's one thing I kind of do regret. It took forever to do them. That first, like all the Smash Bros. Ones, I remember that I actually recorded it first, then I had to do all the commentary later. Like I was like legit in my bed or in my closet because my house be super loud sometimes. So I went up there legit. I spoke to the microphone while watching the gameplay. So it's like I'm watching myself play and commentary on it. But now at the same time I was recording it. I had to do it afterwards. So that just took forever. So legit, I'll say the Xenoblade one bro, I haven't even finished the game. So I'm not even gonna I'm not gonna do that one. But gameplays, maybe I'll do it again, maybe I'll do live streams, probably better. But for Super Mario World, that's maybe, but I'm not doing no games never again. The Mario Kart 8 ones, that was pretty easy, but I don't think anyone wants to watch the Mario Kart racing, man. Like, unless you want to see me angry, but that's it. But the Smash Bros. One, it's doing classic mode. Come on, dude. I mean, maybe it's more online, but not classic mode. Nobody want to watch a nigga play classic mode, but that was just what I was doing at the time. So, yeah, just those things and these montages, the gameplays. And I'll save Idiots on the Bus for the next one. So that's it for now. Oh yeah, and BeaztyBoy Talks, all the reactions. There's two videos. There's two videos. One is too dark. One is too bright. It's like the Star Fox one and the other one. Star Fox one and some other one. It's like too bright. Where I'm like wearing a red shirt. Those ones are too freaking bright. Too bright and too dark. So if I take those back, I'll take those back. So the BeaztyBoy Talks thing was good. Now it's just me reacting. So it's not really me talking, it's me reacting. So now if I do any more reactions, it's not BeaztyBoy Talks, just reactions. Alright, so that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's one thing that I did leave out, and some secrets about BeaztyBoy. So I'll see you. Okay, but there's two more things. Okay guys, there's two more things. So that one with the Smash Brothers where I reacted to like the whole direct, my hairline was messed up. I ain't gonna lie with you. I ain't get a single haircut. I'm glad the light was shining off my forehead so y'all couldn't see that mess. But that was one. That's a whole other secret. I remember that video that me and my brother did. That was like that was pretty fun. But I'll say. You and your brother. Yeah. I'll say one thing about that one. The other one where I did like the BeaztyBoy return thing 2017. That was actually pretty good edited, but. Remember, if you've seen the video, I actually think it, like in the blooper, I think I screened out like by my brother. He said like shut the F up. So that's one of the things that was pretty cool too. And also those Beastie vlogs. Oh my gosh, yo, I was in the park. I was in the park and I was just talking to myself, bro. It look weird now. If I see somebody talking to himself in the park with camera on it, I mean that's their business. But honestly, I was just like dude, like the camera wasn't even like this. It was like down, right? So I'm like, it looks like I'm talking to myself. So I'll take that back too. That little walk in the park and me coming in toward the house. I mean, it was nice. And like, I ain't gonna lie, this house was nice when I first got in there. It was nothing was in there. I wish oh man, you should see the house now. Shoot, it's packed and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's definitely one of those things. And shout out to Joshua JGG who commented on my video with his mean face with the cloud. The cloud reaction. That was nice. That was nice too. That was also very nice. Also one little extra bit. If you see the RCT World video, one video with the off-brand drinks. If y'all see my comment on it, go like it. It's funny, bro. I actually didn't expect that conversation to blow up, but. That's a nice comment section, bro. I mean, I just made it like, this is funny as ever. Then niggas was like, yeah, this is funny, this, I like it. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about the YouTube comment section. That people can get along real nice. Or have a huge argument. But, yeah, that's on every social media. But on YouTube, be like if everybody says it's okay, it's okay. So, you know what I'm saying? So, that's also one thing about it. Yeah, that's all I got for now. I'm trying to think of all the little videos I did. Cause I didn't really do all that much, but I'll say idiots on the bus for next one, but yeah. All right, that one the BeaztyBoy Talks with the Where Have I Been? I was gone for like a week. I was gone for like a week and a half, so I wasn't anywhere. If that video might suffice now, but I wasn't anywhere. So yeah, so that's like another little secret on my videos. So that's it. Oh yeah, also the introduction to my channel, I gotta take that down. I gotta take that down. That's embarrassing. That has the most views on my channel. That's one of the worst videos I've ever done. Welcome to my channel, that video. I need to take that down, bro. I gotta take that down. That's so old. Man, it's so old, man. My hair, what, the shirt was cold though. I don't know what happened to that shirt, but the thing is though, I think my hairline was messed up. My goggles? Really? My gosh, bro, man, man, I went through some tough times. So that video too, I gotta take that down too, man. My gosh, so yeah, that's a little secret about that too, about my channel or whatever. So, oh my gosh, I went through some tough times. I was surprised. Thankfully, no one found out middle school, high school. Good grief, but yeah, so that's it, man. So yeah.
All right, so now we're at the portion of the video where I do my true talk, my brand new style videos into the last video on this channel. So for part 4, how exactly did I get into music? Now, this happened back in 2015 and stuff like that, right? So I remember I wanted to make my very own intro and outro music for my videos back in the day. So whenever I had like a kind of like a Beastie Boy talks or whatever, there's this one video or this one music or this one background music, right? That was called Starry Night. I remember I had made that because back in 6th grade, I remember I was a big fan of Sonic. Like legit, I used to play Sonic all the time. I played Sonic 1, 2, and 3. I was just a big fan of Sonic. I played Sonic Adventure 1. I tried to play 2, but I couldn't find it at the time because that shit hard to find. So, but there's one thing I've always loved about Sonic and how I play Sonic was the Sonic Mega Collection. And there's this one part of the game where the music was just like a banger for no reason. It was the gosh dang museum part of the menu. It just had this wonderful harmonic melody in the background. It's always in my mind to this very day. And that to me is still like kind of like my favorite beat I ever made because it's just like a very, very, very cool sample that I can use for my beat. So I remember back in the day, I wanted to make something quick, so I used that sample because back in the day it was really hard to even get samples. You know what I'm saying? You had to like download, do this app and that app and that app. You know what I'm saying? Way before the days of screen recording, you had to do all this extra stuff, all these different apps. So remember, I started making my beat off this trap beat app. Yeah, it was a trap beat app. I forgot what the name of it was. It was like a green tap beat app. You know what I'm saying? If you tap one of the green pads, then it's like literally like the whole drums, snares, and all that stuff. That would like literally leap together and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It'll leap or loop together. You know. So if you tap on that green pad, like the snares will loop. The bass will loop. The drums will loop. And I remember I just did that. You know what I'm saying? I just put everything two and two together. Now the only thing about that beat is that I remember I didn't add my freaking tagline. I didn't have a tagline at the time because remember I was just using it just for my YouTube channel. I didn't, be serious with the music and stuff. But it's still like one of my favorite beats to this very day. That beat is cold as hell, honestly. And then the first beat I made, like the very, very first beat I made was called Everything I Have in a Rainbow, or Everything That's in a Rainbow. That one beat where Everything That's in a Rainbow, that beat is remember it was one of the samples off the Trap Beat app. I think that's what Trap Beat Pad app. Yeah, pretty much. So I found a sample on there and I guess I just put the beats together and I added my little I guess you say tagline to that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's not really a tagline. At first I thought it was like a sound effect, but it's pretty cool. But having that beat for like like the intros of like my gameplays or like the outros of my gameplays, and having the other beat Starry Night, for the outros for like like BeaztyBoy talk videos, that was pretty cool though, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only one thing that I really want to do, like for the channel, is have that passion. Because I know there's one thing about back in the day is that everybody had their own little music for the outros and the intros. So I wanted to have something for myself. I've always wanted to have that. And usually it was like a beat that was never like out there, you know what I'm saying? It was a whole original beat. So I really wanted to put that same energy into my channel back in the day. So that was pretty cool. And I still remember that me making that first beat, it took me like at least about a week or two. It didn't it took long because like I said, like just for way back in the day, trying
trying to edit things was a lot more harder, and especially when I had school though too. You know what I'm saying? So, and especially the time where I was still making the YouTube videos and stuff like that. So it just took a little longer, and all that stuff. But the second one, for Starry Night, that did take a little while. Almost took me the most of the summer. I was so focused on like actually playing games. I had to go hang out, go here and here and here. You know what I'm saying? With a whole bunch of family members, and I was making some YouTube videos at the same time too. So that little beat did take a while. So, but at the same time, that was worth it because the passion was there. And the passion was worth it. So that's just one thing about that too. Also, I do remember for like a little while, I stopped making beats, I stopped making beats the whole year of 2016. I was just like, just way busy with school and things, like going on in life. And then 2017, I remember in February of 2016, I had officially got GarageBand on my iPad. Actually, it wasn't even my iPad. It was actually, like a school iPad. So I actually had it on there. And that day I changed my life though too, because now I had access to all these different instruments, all these different samples. Now I know that if you are a beginner, I recommend going to GarageBand. Yes, is it bad? Is it corny? No, but the editing on there is very, very easy. It's actually worth your time. And you have access to so many different little instruments. If you really want to have or create your own sample, you have literally a bunch of instruments for you to do right there. Instead of you searching up a different instrument, on a website or whatever, or like trying to search up samples on a website or all these different packs and stuff, you can legit create your own little things right there. Because the instruments right there, because all the instruments on GarageBand always sound authentic and legit. The drums may not sound the best, but the instruments sound perfect. Like all the pianos and all that stuff, like like trumpets, pianos, flutes, all that stuff sounds authentic on GarageBand. So that's very much true. Even guys think guitars. So so that's one thing about that. And I remember back in 2017, I was just at the point where it's like, you know what, I want to make some music. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to go back into this because I remember I was just like kind of playing around with it, and I just was playing around with like just different things for like a good day or two. It was addicting. I didn't do nothing else but just go in there and just listen to music and like different sounds and stuff. So eventually, I made this one song. Now I never, or I think it's already on the channel. It's called Tracos or something like that. It's called Tracos. That was the first beat I made off of GarageBand. Now I don't really count that as a beat. That's one of the worst beats I ever heard. Or it's just a beat where I was just doing things and stuff, right? It's very bad. But I just remember doing that, and that's how I guess I got started to make more beats. I think I made a Champion afterward. That beat's it's slightly a little catchy, but slightly a little bad though too. So but I made that beat though too, and then where's the beat I made? Hold on, let me do some more research on my stuff real quick. Okay, all right, it was Tracos and The Living Struggle. I remember that one. Yep, remember that one. And then it was Land of Legacy. Now, one of the most hardworking beats I ever worked on was probably Land of Legacy. That beat itself, I went back to that trap beat app. You know what I'm saying? Because the drums on GarageBand, it was decent, but I recognized that if you try to go too fast, it doesn't sound right. So that's the one beat I tried going back to make a beat. And man, this shit was tough. It was tough to sell because it's weird though, because like all the loops for all the pads and stuff, they want to sync together the way I wanted it. Because I found the perfect like the kick, the flow for the kicks and snares and all that extra stuff. So what I had to do is I had to literally tap on it manually, you know what I'm saying? So like there's an option inside the so pretty much there's an option inside the app, right, where you can honestly choose to loop it or choose to tap on it. Tap on it on your own. Now tap is not recommended, but if you want to make your own flow without doing too much, you could do that. But so I had to do it for this beat because like I said, those loops, it is just like the drums and the snares and the bass, all that sounded right. It's just it didn't loop together. Like it just sounded funny. Like I felt that these were the right things to use, but I had to manually tap on every single instrument on that beat. And that was one of the hardest working beats I think I ever worked on. I'm never doing that shit again. But I did that, and I never went back to that beat for a while. Yeah. I never went back to that app for a while. After I made that beat, I never went back to that app for a good chunk for a while. So I remember just making that beat, and then eventually, after that, I got just more focused in. I started listening, to like some more samples off of GarageBand. Eventually, I just made like a whole bunch of extra songs, and I put that all together to my one little first instrumental mixtape. It's called The First and Only. That came out back in 2017, and at the same time too, actually at the same time too, yeah. Um, at the same time too, I also made my very first beat channel. So on my beat, actually, I think that was back in what was it? No, that was 2018. Was it 2018, 2017? I don't remember. Yeah, but anyway though, so back in 2017, I made my very first instrumental mixtape. My very first project and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the time, I remember I was like just like listening to a bunch of music. I remember Kendrick's "Damn" it came out at the same time, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make myself a whole mixtape too, but just like like no rapping because I can't rap for none. Now, at some certain point, I did actually make some lyrics for my music or for some music, for like rapping and stuff. It's cool, but I just can't see myself doing it for long term. So this is why I stay to beats, because beats is long term. Beats will always be long term. Anything in history, if you look at history, things that are instrumentals will always last longer. Music has been like that since damn near the dawn of history. So also, you gotta remember though too is that vocal music is very, very recent into our history as humans. Vocal recorded music is something that's very recent. School days, the classical days of music, of Beethoven, and all that extra stuff. Remember, you had a bunch of instruments playing in the background, and they're still authentic and cool to this very day. So instruments will always have a way in history. So this is why I say beats are way better to do, because beats go to your soul. Beats can literally express your emotions without saying nothing. That's the one thing I love about making beats. It's just generally the one thing I love about it is that you can feel the emotion without saying nothing. It goes right into your body. It does. Every single instrument is like a different person. So instead of using your voice, the instruments is your voice. You have different voices that can speak up for you, and you're singing it all together to make it this beautiful, song. That's the one thing I love and appreciate about beats. And that's how I really started out, just making beats and stuff. And then eventually after that, I started making some beats, like a couple friends. And I stopped that a while. Then eventually I started making some more beats for some friends again back in like 2021. And all that. I do remember I made this one project with one of my friends. His name is Javon, or Shadow Black Roth, like whatever his name is. I didn't make the whole mixtape for him. It was like a fun little mixtape, that we made and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was a mixtape where literally we just did it in like a couple days. I remember the first song we made, Molten Ice. That was literally like inside a library. Like we literally did that inside the school library, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, that's just one thing about it. Yeah, so that's really how I got into that music portion of my life. So it's not bad, but man, it's just that part changed my life. And me having all the extra stuff, or me just getting into music like that, it feels amazing. Matter of fact, this year will be 10 years since I started music, and 10 years I also did YouTube. So this year is a very special year just for me doing content and me just being being creative, So this year is very important. So I've come a long way when it comes to this journey when it comes to YouTube and especially with music. But I think music is probably the more powerful one, because seeing the evolution from me making the very first beat until the beats I make nowadays, it's a big evolution. I mean, like, it's super large. Like, I could tell that, I probably won't stop doing this for a while, and I'm pretty all right with it. You know what I'm saying? If you give me a push to keep on doing music, I'm gonna keep putting it out. But sometimes, I think some, certain things in life get in the way, so I kind of have to push that aside. But if it's not in the way, I'm all out with the music. So that's one thing about me. So that's one thing I do appreciate about doing music and stuff. So and that's how I pretty much started the whole channel of BEAZTY Productions. So if you guys want to check that out, all my music is on there. Matter of fact, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, and all platforms. So I'm there. So that's how I did start music, and all this started from this channel, which is pretty cool. Okay. All right. So this is gonna be part 5. How did I start the Idiots on the Bus series? Now this is gonna be kind of fun to talk about, low key, but kind of very short, I think. So at the time, it was between me and 3 other friends, between Mike, Jeremy, and Manny. Right. At the time, it was Red Soul Fives Guy, Epic Dorkwad, and NW Leader 01. Right. So Mike was NW Leader 01, Jeremy was Epic Dorkwad, and Manny was Red Soul Fives Guy. But Manny has a lot of names nowadays, so I don't know if he goes by that no more. Which he don't. You know what I'm saying? Just like a little joke and all that shit. But yeah, honestly, that started off of just one day, I think in May. I think we're just throwing stuff out the window. It was between me, Mike, and Jeremy at the time. So that was pretty fun and insane. But I just remember, I think Manny I think Manny wasn't hanging out with us that day. But I guess me and Jeremy, I think we had made a bet to throw some shit out the window at people. And we did it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on the camera. Cool. Fine. And we did that. I think we hit somebody in like our little neighborhood and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think we threw something out the window. I threw I think an apple or some shit. I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? But it was just kind of like some goofy little prank videos because at the time back in YouTube, back in 2015 and stuff, prank videos was a big thing. Or like them little dare videos. There's like their thing nowadays. It wasn't as big as how it was back in the day. Like literally back in the day, if you did prank videos, you get like millions of views like that. I know nowadays people don't play that. They literally will whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. For back in the day, that's the thing I kind of just wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of record our adventures on the bus, because that bus was a little crazy. I remember the front was always quiet. The back was wild. You know what I'm saying? In the middle, the chill people, but they're always kind of a little bit noisy and shit. But the reason why I made this shit called Idiots on the Bus, because we had like a fool on the bus, you know what I'm saying? And we did the craziest niggas on the bus, craziest people on the bus, you know what I'm saying? We was legit the craziest people on the bus at the time, so we wanted to turn up a little bit, And that was a thing back in middle school. Now, part 2 is probably like one of my favorite parts, because that literally was the whole bus ride was that whole video. I remember I recorded that on my iPhone 5S. And thank goodness I had enough space to record all that too, because remember, I think back in the day, for iPhone space was like damn near like 15 gigabytes or 4, I don't know. It was some cheap gigabytes back in the day. Crazy as hell now, you know what I'm saying? So, but the fact is though is that I know that Manny had joined us for that episode, and he took control. The whole video he was in control. So, yeah. Dude was in control. I think Jeremy, he was just kind of chilling. He was on the window and all that stuff. So, yeah. But Manny, Manny wanted to make, or just say things that he wanted to say, you know what I'm saying? Because, like he cool with the jokes and all that stuff. So, it's that humor back in middle school. It's that gamer humor, that edgy kind of middle, that edgy humor that kids used to love back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Or I kind of still kind of get it. Why I did like crack up on those, these type of shows, because they were just over the top. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it was that question of how did that happen, or that thought, that intrusive thought that someone would say. You know what I'm saying? That's the things that make that type of humor funny. I just remember that day. It was a hot ass day. I remember Manny was sweating like a pig that day. I remember that too. I was wearing this Tim Duncan jersey. I remember that, and I also remember Mike ass had a freaking identity crisis. Yeah, that whole identity crisis and shit. So you could put the camera in his face. Yo, that's still funny to me this very day, but that's crazy. Dude was acting like he was being hidden from the CIA or something. Dude. Fucking, he had a fox mask on. Oh, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that day was pretty cool. Like I think the whole video can pretty much like explain itself. But that day was fun. Yeah, I think everyone on the bus started just started to really notice that these guys are acting the fool for no reason. Like, why is this kid acting out? Why is me or why is myself following along with it, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Why do I have the camera out, you know, my phone? I'm recording everybody on the bus, you know what I'm saying? Jeremy, he chilling, but if you tell him, like, to do something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, hey, shout out this real quick. And then he would shout it out. Like, Jeremy would be quiet, you know, he'll be silent, but he's also a cool, humble dude, like, very humbling. But if you told him to do, like, a bet, and he thought about it, and he really thought about it, he gonna do it. But sometimes he'll doubt about it. Because I remember the first video, I remember towards the end, he's like, I can't. That's cool. That's good judgment. Because I remember that he was gonna throw something at an old lady. Like, dude, that's fucked up. Yeah, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I was pressuring, dude, like, do it. Like, dude, that's not me no more. You know what I'm saying? That's just so weird, you know. But yeah. I think there was a part. No, for part 3 or behind the scenes one. That was just us in the morning. The morning was so it was so it was cold a little bit, but man, niggas was tired. But the best time to catch things being goofy was, I guess, in the morning. So we kind of did that low key. There was this one girl I had a crush on, and her name was Angelina. She always used to sit like at the top left of me or bottom right, you know, the seats or whatever. And she knows it too. She knows all the goofy shit, you know, that we always be on and all that stuff, you know. I think she wanted to join low key because she had the same sense of humor though. But she's you know, just she want to be petty princess, you know what I'm saying? You know, she want to act like she all high and mighty, but she really would down to 2. So yeah, you know, she's petty, but you act like princess. So that's why I called her at the time. Let's see, what's up? What else can I talk about? Yeah, that whole video is probably just the one where or I just pretty much didn't cut no content. It was just like a constant thing, you know, like we were filming. I think for many got stuck in the back that day. I don't know how he got back there. I think he made something. No, he did something crazy. He tried to jump between the seats, and the kids had literally gatekeeped him from coming back up towards us. So he was stuck in the back. We thought that, you know, at first I thought that they were gonna fuck him up. At first, I was like, the people on the bus getting tired of us, nigga. No more idiots on the bus. So I remember that happened, and yeah, the whole video was him just being stuck in the back. I think Mike took over the camera. Him and Jeremy was talking. I think I was just chilling and shit, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of crazy though on the low key. So you know, for many was gone for the entire episode, and yeah, that episode was just a bunch of like random stuff that, you know, that went on the bus, which why I said is behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It's not edited, or it kind of was, but most of the footage was not cut, pretty much. If that makes any sense. Now, part 4. There was a part 4, but I remember at the time, part 4 was so bad that I had to delete it. Yeah, man, I remember I was gonna get an ass whooping from my parents if they found that video out. I remember that we had thrown something at the bus driver, and he got stuck underneath the gas tank gas pedal or something like that. Dude, we got in fucking trouble. That's the one time I got in trouble on the bus. And my parents noticed I had a YouTube. They noticed the idiots on the bus stuff. So if they would have found that out, they would have, like, this is actual footage for me to get my ass whooped, spanked, like, for real. So I avoided a whole ass whooping from that. So, and look, I had to delete it. Remember, this is back in the day, like, legit. I remember the day where they asked me to come back out here. I had to literally, like, there was a choice. Like, I couldn't unlink it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. Yeah, nigga, I had to delete it. The only way I could do anything was delete that joint. Like, remember, this is back in the day where, you know, if it's gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Which, man, it sucks, but damn, that was just something else, you know, that just happened back in the day. So literally, immediately, that saved my life for that entire rest of the school year. So that video was still wild. I think we did a lot more wild stuff. That probably would have been the best video, or it damn near was, you know, besides part 2. But part 4 was wild. Like, we did a lot more wild shit. I think that's when really we like idiots on the bus and all that stuff, so too. So yeah, yeah, man. So that's the whole story behind, you know, the idiots on the bus and whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think kind of looking back at it, or the videos, it shows how I was when I was 12. It's cool, it's fine, you know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I don't regret certain things. You know, if I did it, I guess I did it for a reason. And those videos I did for a reason. I just think part 4, yeah, that's the only one I kind of was like, yeah, I'm glad I had to delete that joint, you know what I'm saying? So I did, you know, I had to do that for a reason. But besides that though, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, that was extremely fun times. I think that summer though too. I think we hung out more. Me, Jeremy, and Mike hung out more in the summertime. I think we tried to get Maine to hang out, but he got kind of stuck in the house and stuff like that. But we was planning on doing more videos, like literally, like outside of like the entire summer, and it was there. I remember we had a whole collab channel. It's called like Epic. What the hell was it called? It's like Epic. It was Epic. Red Epic Beast Leader. I think it was something like that. Something weird like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it was pretty cool though. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows that how the four of us was really committed to that content. That just making that content off of YouTube. So that entire portion of just making that videos, you know what I'm saying? It just showed that how like we was kids and we just wanted to have some fun on the bus. And yeah, the bus is where things go down, God. Because hell yeah, nigga, man, there's so many things that after that year, after the school year, I seen on the bus. That yeah, there's some also thing on the bus, some fights, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we'll be some traffic jams or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I could imagine us doing that until like high school. That would be kind of messed up. In high school you can't be no class clown. They gonna get on your ass, like on real talk though. So it just shows how back, in that phase, back in 7th grade though, being them that edgy humor, being them idiots on the bus, it was worth it. And it's pretty fun. Okay. So, all right, this is gonna be part 6 of the BC documentary. So, what happened between these last 5 years, man? Honestly, things have changed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't move, out the house. I was doing like all my old videos at. You know what I'm saying? So, based on part 3, the house that I did that video at, I'm not there no more. I live in a whole different house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got the, just things. Life has changed. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I kind of stopped making videos for a while, which was kind of warranted. You know what I'm saying? Life happens, you know what I'm saying? You have to go to college and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. College, work, definitely work. I think working a lot kind of made me like, yeah, not focus on doing content for a while. Now, doing content still cool, but I was just working and probably making music. So music was, sort of like that content I was doing, which, it didn't make sense because people back in the day, so people back in 2021, like a whole lot of my friends, they wanted, some beats. So I was focused on making the beats, job, and doing college at the same time. So trying to do a video in the middle of that, it's like there's really like no time, especially with editing. Editing takes a long time. People got to realize that, like, the camera and stuff, you speaking to the camera is cool. It's just the editing afterward. And it also depends on how much effort you want to put into the video. So editing is one of the hardest things to do, especially in the term of just trying to put a video out, is editing. For sure. Especially if you want to be, especially if you want to make the whole video humorous. If you want to make the video humorous, it's going to take a long time to edit that video. So it's very true though. But anyway though, so these last couple years I've gotten recently into anime, or more into anime. Now I know before I only watched about 6 anime. I think it was Dragon Ball, Hajime no Ippo, Kill la Kill, High School of the Dead, Space Dandy, and Soul Eater. In Attack on Titan, so 7 anime. So literally from as a kid all the way until I was 18, I had only watched those 7 anime. No, actually 8, and Parasite 2. So back when I was a kid, literally when I was like 6 years old or damn near 4 to 18, I only watched about 8 anime. I wasn't a huge anime fan, but I was more of the guy who likes, the anime portion of gaming. But I realized there's a whole different genre out there that focuses more on that portion of gaming that has a lot more stories and plots out there. So legit, from 2020, I got into anime. Like I got hooked. I think everybody else got into the same phase too, because in 2020, I'm saying every single TV show that came out weekly, that was like a live action show, got canceled because of COVID. So the only thing that came out at the time was literally just a bunch of anime, and people tuned into the anime. I remember this like yesterday. This was in May of 2020. Remember in May of 2020, people was hyped that Avatar came to Netflix, so we finally watched all of Avatar. Because the thing about a kid, no one else really watched Avatar straightforward from season 1, first episode, to the last episode. So when it came out on Netflix, everyone started really binge watching against, to be like, oh, now I get what Avatar's about. That's how it works. Because typically as a kid, we all saw that one episode, the one with the like the Great Valley thing. That was usually played, and afterward it'd be like a season 3 episode. Then after that, it'd be like season 2 episode. So we never truly knew what was happening in Avatar. So I thought Avatar was just like a show where they just went on all these random adventures and stuff. I know the show had like an A to Z story. You know what I'm saying? So after I binge watched Avatar, which is still the greatest cartoon to this very day, that's one of the best cartoons of all time. Like, that cartoon is dope. To the point where that, finding out so many secrets and so many themes, messages from that show or that cartoon is amazing. As that, I started getting back into anime. I remember I had tried to catch up to I finished up Cowboy Bebop that June of 2020. I watched that, then I tried catching up to Attack on Titan. Remember, I missed season 3 when it came out the year before that, back in 2019. So I caught up with Attack on Titan, and then what else did I watch? I think I watched One Punch Man. I remember I watched Black Lagoon. That was a cold ass anime. Like I said, I watched that. Afro Samurai. There's another one called what was it called? Eden the East. That was kind of bad. I didn't really like that anime. What else did I watch that summer? Samurai Champloo. That changed my life. But that was in August. I watched that in August. I watched Michiko and Hatchin. Both them animes in August. Those two animes, like one of my top 10 animes of all time, is Samurai Champloo and the Michiko and Hatchin. Two code animes. And all this is actually directed by the same dude who made Cowboy Bebop. So it's pretty cool though. And the guy who makes Space Dandy. So I'm a really big fan of Shinichiro Watanabe. As a matter of fact, he put out a brand new anime, and it's called Lazarus. I gotta check that out soon. I've been holding back on that one, but I'm gonna check that out eventually by the end of the month. Which this video is gonna come out by the end of the month. So I hope I did check it out soon. So yeah, yeah, I remember I started getting more into anime and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I started reading some more manga towards the end of 2020. I read, actually. That was 2021. Sorry, my fault. So, but for 2020, I started just watching more anime and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then the trend of anime just started going around. Big on Twitter, on Instagram, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? This whole wave of just anime. This whole wave. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was getting hyped off of it. Especially with Demon Slayer. I think everyone tried having a Demon Slayer. The first opening. That's when anime really started to get like on everyone's timeline and topics, especially Naruto moments. Oh, Rock Lee versus Gaara, top best moment in all the anime. Everybody started making all these different things and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's where everyone started coming out, like for their love of anime. It's during that time. And especially back in 2021. I think 2021 was definitely a time where, towards the end of 2020, that's where people started getting more into manga. Because I remember the Chainsaw Man Part 1, the manga was ending, so everyone was like, oh, yo, this manga cool, check out Chainsaw Man, read Chainsaw Man. It was worth reading. Remember that Hell's Paradise ended around that time. It was worth reading. I remember that. What else came around the time? Jujutsu Kaisen was hot at that time. The whole thing with the Shibuya arc, from the manga was getting hyped. Was getting that love at the time. But seeing that downfall for that series is that's disappointing. But yeah, though. But anyway, just like during that time, I was just a guy who used to study the culture of anime and manga. Because literally, I was part of these, I was seeing it and I was part of these trends. And at the time, also, I binge watched all the Naruto during 2022 too. And then in 2021, I started binging One Piece. And 2022, I started binging on Bleach. So I binged that big 3. Then back in 2022, I started binge watching almost every mainstream anime from Code Geass, Fairy Tail, Gintama, who else? Inuyasha, Steins Gate. Fire Force 2021. That's still a horrible anime. Black Clover, JoJo's, Yu Yu Hakusho. I was just binge watching all this extra stuff, right? All the mainstream animes at the time, but also back in 2021, for my love of manga came through, because that's when I read Chainsaw Man Part 1 full, like at that time, like the whole thing, and it changed my life to the point where, like, you know what, I want to read more manga. Or I think, no, the very first manga I read back in 2021 was it was The Boy in My Dreams or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That was a really suspenseful manga. I read it back in August 2021. Then I started reading more of Gantz manga. and then some extra manga after that. I think Gigants, and the Gangsta manga. Yeah, I read those manga at the time. Then I got into Chainsaw Man Part 1 towards the end of December. So I remember the whole year of 2021, there was that one trailer that came up for Chainsaw Man. Everyone was like, yo, when's it gonna drop? When's it gonna drop? We didn't know until like literally like next year in like August next year, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole date, you know what I'm saying? So in August 2022, that's when we got the confirmation of that date for Chainsaw Man season 1. So that was just nuts. Like, dude, people was in their seats to see when that was gonna happen, man. Like the hype for that season 1 was unreal. I mean, people was literally like saying like, no, man, I'm gonna kill myself if I don't see the season 1. Like, dude, it's like, damn, it was that serious, man. Because man, Chainsaw Man got that attention and love just from the manga itself, and then, you know, getting toys from the manga itself, getting the hype just from the manga. That's real love, and that's like a real good ass series. Matter of fact, that's the best brand new mainstream series of current anime. Is that one? The manga is always going to prove it every single time. So, because the effect of the manga is always going to be on the anime. But anyway, though, why am I telling you all this shit? Because that's the reason why I started, you know, that like the True Talk was literally to get out all my points off of anime and manga first. Because literally, if you look at like all the first videos I made, it's off of anime and manga. Because throughout these years, I've literally been having these debates and discussions with people in real life and people online for so many years about anime and manga topics. After watching all their favorite series and watching my own favorite series that I liked and I loved, I could finally be a part of that anime fan community. Because that's one thing as a kid I've always wanted to be like, or learn more of, was becoming an anime fan. Was being an anime fan, honestly. So, I mean, I had a chance to do that. So that whole year 2020 did change my life, because it just, you know, we was in quarantine, ain't nothing else coming out, so I had the opportunity just to boom, you know what I'm saying, just like, you know, try to get that done. But then I realized one day in 2024, I was talking with with my brother, and I was like, you know what, I make all these topics and debates, I should just make a video on it, because now I can just speak to people, all these people on the internet, because it seems like whenever I try to text these people, or, you know, try to type down my answers, my debates with Reddit people and people on Twitter, they can read it and they still won't comprehend it. So I thought to myself, you know what I'm saying, just make a video where now if you can't really get it, this voice is going to be the reason of understanding behind these words. And if you didn't understand it, well, that's on you, because literally you can just press the rewind button and then I can prove actual facts in the video that the stuff I'm saying is real, like real facts, like, you know what I'm saying, which is why it's called True Talk on my channel. So that's just one thing that I did like about, or like doing about this new channel, you know what I'm saying? So I decided to go back to just starting off a brand new channel. Now, why did I start off on a brand new channel, or start off on that channel, is because originally that was actually the first channel I made. So this BeaztyBoy channel is the second one. Kind of weird though. So that first one was like my Google channel, I guess, you know what I'm saying? It had like my full name on it, but I didn't know how to change things back in the day, so I made the second one to have, you know, like name on it. Very stupid of what I did back in the day. But I remember back in the day, if you want to change your name, you had to like wait like 3 months to change your name. So I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll just make a brand new channel, like change my name, so, you know, to actually have my name on there. So that's where the whole thing with BeaztyBoy started. But now I went back to this first channel I made, which is Beasty. So Beasty is the first channel I did make on some real stuff though, so that was pretty cool. Yeah. So and that's how it is nowadays. So, you know, I've been doing True Talk, you know, it's been nice. I've done it for a year now. It feels pretty cool, and plan on doing more at the same time. So it just, I think I got the whole thing from True Talk from literally doing the stuff from BeaztyBoy Talks. Now I know, you know, like throughout the channel I used to do that, you know, do like different, you know, reaction and stuff, you know, because I got that from Etika, which that was a good YouTuber. I feel like he got caught up in something, you know what I'm saying? His fan base is, you know, just very weird, and he that dude was a good, yeah, that dude. I think if him and Kai Cenat would have did something, man. I think if Etika was still alive to this very day, man, him and Kai Cenat would like literally like blow things up. Like him, Kai Cenat, and Speed, like, or Etika would have that attention that Speed's getting right now if Etika was still alive to this very day, you know. I think about this very day, and imagine him reacting to how Pyramethra is in Smash, and you know, all these Sora and Byleth, Min and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just seeing how things will turn out these days, man. Etika, man, he's cool ass dude. That was a good YouTuber. Good YouTuber. But yeah, though, so just seeing, or me doing that to doing the, you know, this brand new True Talk, I guess it just kind of, you know, like put itself together. So at the same time, though, it's just, that's why I just started doing this now, and I got something to do, and shoot, it feels pretty good. And yep, that's pretty much it, though. So, and to me, that's just fast right there. Oh yeah, also, okay, there's one more thing I forgot to tell y'all. So, the reason why I was so intrigued to be an anime and manga fan is I actually took a flight and a trip to Japan. Bars! Yeah, but yeah, but anyway though, so after me actually going over there and seeing the culture and stuff over there too, is that I realized that when I was over there that anime is really not that as popular in Japan. It's more of the manga portion. Because if you think about it, low key, the people in Japan, they don't have no time to really watch like an 8-hour anime or binge watch 10 hours or 20 hours of anime all day. So they mostly just read manga, which makes sense because they literally can get all the volumes first and all that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even over there, I saw a bunch of manga advertisements. So I had to seen that, you know, like, or like even on the train and stuff, right? I seen people read manga on their phones. So in every single store I went to, like for anything with merch with anime, I typically saw foreigners, kind of like myself, go there. So that's why I was like, you know what, anime is popular and more outside Japan, because that's the whole point. The whole point of anime is to promote the manga. Like for example, Attack on Titan is a big example. After season 1, what everyone started doing? Go read the manga. They all went to go read the manga. That's when niggas started spoiling everything about, you know, season 2 and 3 and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Prime example is that. So one thing about me that I noticed when I was over there, that anime is strong, yes, but it's meant to attract the foreigners. The manga people, that's the real Japanese stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Like in every foreigner store or every store that had anime, like I said, just was foreigners. I barely saw no Japanese people in there, just mostly foreigners. Mostly foreigners just like myself. So I was like, you know what? The people in you know, over here in the US don't recognize or realize that anime is cool, yes, but manga is a hella tons better because you have all these stories that have not got adapted yet. And most of the stories that come out for anime is not even like the best of the best. There's still so much out there that, like, legit, there's so much stories of manga out there that people do not know about. And I remember at a certain point back in like 2022, I was just reading manga for like 6 months straight. I didn't watch no anime. I just kept reading manga. It was like, dude, this is way better than watching anime, like for real. Like, cause the thing about manga is that I can finish up a series like in a couple of days to a week, and it'll be a cold ass story. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, that was a good story. But the thing about anime is that some good anime, you know, quote unquote good anime, be like 100 episodes and be like, damn, I gotta take them there a month to finish this. You know what I'm saying? Just for a show that had maybe like a bad ending. But the thing about manga is that, you know, you can just kind of like tell, okay, this is not going nowhere because the story's not really intriguing me. But sometimes with anime, the animation would intrigue people, you know, like all the flashy bright lights and shit like that. So that's one thing I noticed about, you know, about anime nowadays, that if the manga's cold, then anime is gonna be cold. Like for example, Berserk is a prime example. The anime, it has slightly big good animation. Now, I know the one in 2016 wasn't the best, but the story was cold. But to this very day, when people talk about Berserk, they bring up the manga and how cold the manga was, how great the story in the manga was. Because I know the anime cuts out, like, you know, a whole bunch of parts, you know, in the story, or based off the manga and shit. So me studying the culture, for me actually going over there, and then me come back to this, you know, back to the US, and realizing that a lot of people on Twitter and everyone else across the world that's not been to Japan does not recognize the culture, that anime really is just meant as like an advertisement. So if someone hypes up this anime that's, you know, that's kind of bad, like for example, My Dress with Darling, that came and went. You had grown ass men hyping up a show that's meant for females and to dress up and shit. Like, that was just weird. And that was weird as hell back in 2022, though. That was a weird ass time. I never thought something like that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in the anime community. Seeing grown ass men hyping up My Dress with Darling over Attack on Titan. That was weird as hell. But the fact is though, is that, you know, me seeing how that works, you know what I'm saying, just how the anime is just meant for like the advertising, and the manga is the true, like, the way how all the money's getting made. or how people really are more in tune to the manga than it is in anime over there in Japan. It just showed to me that, the anime nowadays, it's cool, but they all fall for the same thing: the animation and maybe a little bit of fan service. And season one can do good, but then people won't show up for like season two. Like for example, Mob Psycho, everybody else was showing up for season 1 and 2, but it didn't show up for that last season, that was a good ass season. And I was just like, yo, what happened? Or like for example, the prime example is Tokyo Revengers. Season 1 was hyped as hell back in 2021. People started watching Tokyo Revengers by the next year. That's how fast it died out. Like damn, because the manga's not that good. Because if people don't own the manga or don't even read the manga, because a lot of people can own the manga but not really read it. A lot of people own Demon Slayer. Actually, no. A lot of people own Demon Slayer but don't actually fully read the entire manga from chapter 1 to the end. No one even reads Demon Slayer. They may own it, but they don't read it. A lot of people don't do that. Because we all know the anime is way better than the freaking manga. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. That's the only time where the anime is better than the manga, but the manga itself cannot carry the anime. It's actually the opposite. So once I started seeing that, I was like, you know what? Some of these anime out here, they're decent, but the manga's not good. Or people, if they complain about the art in the manga, then it's kind of bad. So that's when I started, making all these videos and shit, like on the True Talk, like, you know what? This is a plant, this is a plant, this is a plant, all this extra stuff, that it's not worth it, it's not worth the time watching. Or if it is worth the time watching, then go watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'll just put out the truth, because sometimes inside the anime community, they will never prove the facts. That, like, let's say if I bring up Doro, this anime is way better than Demon Slayer, and it's still appreciated to this very day. And it's less episodes than Demon Slayer. It's 26 or like 24, but the story itself is literally better than Demon Slayer. And this is the first story in anime that talked about literally slaying demons and all that stuff. Like legit, there's a new version, an old school version. If you bring the facts to anime fans, they won't admit it. They're very delusional. So it's like, okay, this is weird. So that's why I started this True Talk stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I noticed that throughout the years, that if I type it down on facts and sources from Reddit and Twitter, they would just be like, "Oh man, you know what I'm talking about, man. What I'm talking about." But I'm literally giving you the sources, so I just made the video so to literally give you the examples on the video, because since people can't read, so yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's why I did start True Talk, and that's it. And truthfully, this time, that's just facts right there, for sure.
Man, so after talking through all that stuff, man, this channel, this video, it brings back so many memories, man. So many memories. That's probably the first time y'all see me, without the glasses on, but I'm gonna put them back on. But just this, me starting off on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Me just seeing these videos from me when I was 12 years old, from my very first video, which was a BEAZTY montage on this channel. Me making a video about Goku, kicking it, they had the Popo screen. Bitch, you guessed it, all that extra stuff, Going from that to this, just seeing the 10-year growth that I did, it's actually pretty amazing. And I know I didn't make a lot of videos on this channel for the last couple years. A lot of stuff has happened the last couple years, you know what I'm saying? Not too much, not too little, but it's just I'm getting back to content creation, and honestly, it feels good. Even on the whole other channel where I'm making a bunch of videos, it feels good over there. But it's just seeing myself as a kid and seeing myself have that passion to want to be that content creator, to want to be that YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is, kind of like, to me, I can sometimes cringe just, watching some of my old stuff. But it was just the effort, though. You know what I'm saying? It was the effort of me watching, learning, seeing how the system of, of the game worked back in the day. You know what I'm saying? From the PewDiePies to the Markipliers to the Etika, rest in peace, Etika, to Dashies, to anybody. Seeing how the game works and seeing how I was willing to do that at such a young age, and still kept on constantly trying to come back and do it. Says a lot. So this channel I'm really grateful for. BeaztyBoy, seeing the phases of me being a boy until how I am now, it'll be just super amazing, honestly, really amazing, for sure. Um, yeah, it's amazing journey on this channel. Um, there's so many emotions I'm trying to hold back right now because this will be the last video on this channel, or just me being on the channel. You know, it shouldn't be too much. I shouldn't have to even like make a video like this because I moved on. But at the same time though, there's so many people that's on this channel, so many people that that have seen it. Just me growing up as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So that brand I tried to do. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing myself learn the game from this channel. You seeing the progress of me trying to do different things is amazing. And I'll never forget it though. Like 2015, that was a year where it felt amazing. Every single week I was trying to do something content wise and it felt nice, you know what I'm saying? So main content or just being a YouTuber is nice. And I've always said to everybody as a kid that I think being a YouTuber probably is one of the best jobs because you literally could just be yourself in front of the camera. You do whatever. You could do sports, music, talks like this, anything, and be yourself and get paid for it. I said that as a kid, going up to everybody, that this is actually going to be the future, or this might just be the way for the easiest job for you to do in the world. Is it easy? No, but it's the job that's you. And can no one else never stop you from doing it. And now I see it though. I've always seen it, but now I kind of see it from this other channel. I'm just doing my own little stuff. And it feels nice. Speaking to hundreds of people, views. It's nice. Feels amazing. Feels amazing. For sure. Man. Yeah, this channel is amazing, man. For the good memories, to all the homies, that all the friends I used to hang out with on the channel. I hope y'all, are doing okay. This very day. I still kind of talk to them to this very day, so it ain't that big of a deal, but still, like, what I'm saying, just certain things, what I'm saying. I also did notice though too that I posted an anime, opening? It was ending from Kanan. That's damn near one of my biggest videos on the channel. Is the anime ending I posted like a couple years ago. It's a cold ass anime too, so that's pretty good though. But yeah, yeah, this channel is honestly amazing, and this last portion of the video is gonna be tough, rough to say goodbye. Like right now, I think my heart's beating like very fast and slow. To say that last little catchphrase before I end this video. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being patient enough for seeing the stories behind me being behind this channel. I know some people have waited, or honestly, I just want to do it because I had a promise, and a man's supposed to, be on his promise. So I finally got it done. So that's one thing for sure. So it's one thing I really wanted to do. So honestly, it feels amazing to be on this channel. And so all of them, to whoever watched my video, thank you. Because at the end of the day, I was just 12-year-old just trying to bring entertainment to to YouTube, to social media, try the best as I can. And honestly, I thank you. Thank you for even taking your time to even pressing on my videos, pressing that like button, pressing that subscribe button. So thank you very much. And as always, stay beasty for sure. And I'm out. Thank you all very much. And I love you all. Thank you.